There are hundreds of historic monuments in New York City, many with strict meanings that have been held up since creation and dedication. But for those without a memorable dedication, what is a viewer to think? Some, like the Washington Square Monument, have withstood some of the best and worst times in New York City, but still lack a unified meaning of their own. In a series, form can stay the same, but meaning changes from monument to monument. The Washington Square Arch lacks a meaning that has lasted since its creation. This allows New Yorkers and visitors alike to create their own meaning and personal attachment with the arch. With this lack of definite commemorative meaning, people can choose to perceive it as an integral part of their New York or not. The officially named Washington Centenary Arch was originally constructed in 1889 as part of the centennial celebration of George Washington's inauguration in 1789. Stanford White was commissioned to build a temporary arch. It was made of papier-mâché and plaster. The arch was so popular among the wealthy landowners who lived around Washington Square Park that they paid to have a more permanent marble version of the arch put in. White chose to design the Washington Square Arch in the triumphal style. The two monuments he pulled the most from in the Triumphal Arch series were the Arc de Triomphe in Paris and the Arch of Constantine in Rome. However, this series houses a multitude of arches found all around the world. The Triumphal Arch originated in Rome as a monument after the structure had been used in aqueducts and passageways. Arches like the Arch of Constantine and Arch of Titus were created after military campaigns to show pride and confidence in the Roman emperor and his army. The Arch of Titus commemorated Titus's domination of Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. A similar meaning is found in the Arch of Triumph in Pyongyang, North Korea. It was built in 1982 to commemorate the struggle between North Korea and Japan from 1925 to 1945. It was ended by the close of World War II. Munich's Siegestor, or Victory Gate, was also constructed in 1852 to honor the Bavarian army, though today it is viewed as a monument of peace, not war. All of these arches have similar features to that of the Washington Square Arch. One common feature of the Triumphal Arch is an ornate lintel, as seen in these photos. Lintels can usually have inscriptions or sculptures evoking meaning and creating emotion. They are all constructed of white marble and have images of the people they are dedicated to or represent. In the case of the Washington Square Arch, there are two statues of George Washington. However, the quality that sets the Washington Square Arch apart from these other arches is its lack of memorable meaning. Though it was constructed for the centennial celebration of Washington's election, that has not been the meaning for the monument for most viewers. This allows for visitors to make up their own relationship with the arch. It may be a tight one that they hold dear, or it could be a monument that means nothing to them. How people view it is very dependent on their proximity on a regular basis. For example, the beatnik and later hippie communities see the Washington Square Arch as an icon for their life in Greenwich Village. They used it as a canvas for political and social issues. This meaning was a very personal one, but some activists today have followed in their footsteps and are treating the Washington Square Arch like a symbol of equality. Most recently, it has been used as a congregation point for marches against police brutality. To those who feel connected to the arch and Washington Square Park, it is an integral part of their New York. However, one person's vision of New York is never the same as another's, especially when monuments have as malleable a meaning as the Washington Square Arch. Some village residents see it as an important barrier between their small community and the dominating expansion of NYU, and many New Yorkers who aren't in Greenwich Village often simply forget it exists, and have no meaning tied to it whatsoever. The Washington Square Arch's significance could be considered quintessential New York, always changing.